For Aaron Brady campaign and us, the Brady family, have returned here again today to this building, the Garda barracks in Dundalk. We're going to look deeper into the videos we created earlier from the footpath here in Dundalk Garda station. But now we're going to focus in and delve much deeper into the disgusting behaviour of the Garda Síochána in relation to two men from Northern Ireland, Maguire and Christopher Morton. Two men who are coached to deliver nothing but a tissue of lies. We will show you quite clearly how their statements that was made in America untangle, and we have shredded them from start to finish. They lied to protect their own lives back in New York. They lied to protect themselves from being deported back to Ireland, where their safety was in question. And the Garda Síochána knew this, they used it. This is not a suspicion, this is not guesswork. We have shown it on camera, on paper, and on all legal documents. It is there for everyone to see. It is plain as day what these criminals in this building done to our son Aaron.
Stop at the Dundalk Garda station. Here we're turning the spotlight to Sinn Féin also, and especially Councillor Anton Waters, named directly by Christopher Morton in that dodgy statement. Morton's tale was pure fiction. If Detective Mary and Ogle both bothered to verify a single fact, they'd have seen the holes. Or worse, if they didn't check it. That's dereliction of duty, plain and simple. And Sinn Féin's dead silence makes them partners in this massive frame-up of their son, Aaron. Morton is crucial. Pat Mary and Bobby Ogle interviewed Christopher Morton just days before Aaron's arrest. We have shown how his statement is riddled with lies. He was coerced into making it, and it perfectly sums up how Garda Síochána botched, fudged and framed the whole investigation from start to trial. Standing here today just outside the village of Mike. This is the village Christopher Morton was ran out of. Morton's statement crumbles to shite the moment he states that he was in the Tombstone bar in New York at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning talking to Aaron Brady. Now here is the clip of Christopher Morton saying he was in the Tombstone and met a man at the bar.
Told me that Anton had given him my number, and then he had asked me how I knew who it was that had shot the guard. He told you who he was, and what? A couple of years back after a wedding, it was late at night, probably between 5 and 6 in the morning, and I went to the Tombstone Saloon.
Around 6 in the morning, you say?
Between 5 and 6. Sounds very funny. 6 in the morning.
You were at the where?
The Tombstone Saloon on 233rd Street in the Bronx.
Here is the clip. You can see Christopher Morton pointing out Aaron Brady at the time of the dodgy identity with Pat Mary and Bobby Ogle.
An additional statement starting at 7:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. Christopher, could you just look at what Detective Inspector Mary is showing you and tell me what do you see?
It's Aaron Brady, right there.
And you're looking at a photograph, a copy of a photograph presented to you, and you recognise the person in that as Aaron Brady as the same person that told you that he had shot the guard. Okay. So we're just going to put that down as an additional statement. Is that okay?
But Aaron wasn't there. And the thing is, what Christopher Morton didn't know at the time, I was there. I was there celebrating an after party of a wedding from a family from Crossmaglen.
Not another soul seen Aaron that night, because Aaron simply wasn't there. Christopher Morton was a liar, an outright disgusting liar. So as Lorraine just laid out, Morton's claim is nonsense. Let's look at this picture again. The ID process isn't one. It's a single sheet of paper shoved under a witness's nose. This is pure filth, illegal from start to finish. Every guideline here shredded. And the two men who did it, Pat Murray and Bobby Ogle, orchestrated with Homeland Security agent Matt Katsky. They ought to hang their heads in shame.
So please, Irish public, do not forget Christopher Morton was an illegal immigrant who'd already been run out of this very village because of his illegal antics. Yes, Pat Murray, in his own podcast, Making the Detective, swears that he checked this man, Christopher Morton's, bona fides. So to confirm that, let's listen to Pat Murray.
So he said, if you come over on the 15th of that month, whatever it was, 15th of September, October, whatever it was, he says, I'll meet you in New York.
They arranged to meet on 10th and 24th Street in Chelsea Village, a busy, upmarket part of Manhattan.
And he says, I'll meet you at the corner there at such a time. And I said, fair enough. And I was delighted with that. I said, I thought I had... Now, I had this person, I knew who he was, and I had him well vetted and checked out. You always have a fear that you're being set up, that they have a plant in there to tell you lies or to put you off the investigation or to, you know. But I had this person well checked out, and I was quite happy with his bona fides and that he was who he was. And he told me the truth, and he was legitimate in New York, and he wasn't a person looking for anything from the guards or looking for anything from Homeland Security or anything of that nature, that there'd be no compromise in any way.
We've just heard it from Pat Murray's own mouth. So either Murray didn't check and he's telling lies, or he ignored every red flag. Either way, he's lying to your face, the Irish public. Same way Morton lied to on Garda Síochána in his pathetic statement to Murray and to Ogle. Both crooks, both liars, both being protected by a corrupt Irish state.
Detective Pat Murray's inability to remember the date in which he took Christopher Morton's statement is nothing short of disgraceful. The statement dated the 15th of May 2017, as you can see on the screen here, led to the arrest of Aaron Brady not 72 hours after it was taken. Yet, Pat Murray doesn't seem to recall this as he pontificates on his sick podcast. Morton was his so-called breakthrough. Morton's words triggered the frame-up of Aaron Brady. Maguire was set up to prop the story up, and this was all hammered home by Murray and Ogle. 4 participants rotten to the core, bound by one lie. Disgraceful, disgusting, doesn't even cover it.
On screen, just going to bring up on screen here now, this is Anthony Gerard Maguire's charge sheet. Anthony Gerard Maguire from Mike in County Down. You can see possession of ammunition in suspicious circumstances. And guess what? When he was hauled back, extradited from New York back to Northern Ireland for being caught with ammunition, drugs and a large sum of cash, in 2014 he absconded. He was extradited back here to Newry in 2023. And why I'm showing you the ammunition charge is because when Anthony Gerard Maguire was dealt with here in the courts in Northern Ireland, the ammunition charge was left on the books. It was not dealt with. Now this shows us that there is collusion not only happening in the Republic of Ireland in the judicial system and on Garda Síochána, but also this shows us clearly that the Northern Ireland judicial system and the PSNI are also involved in criminal activities in relation to Anthony Gerard Maguire's extradition warrant. He had ammunition charges, and the problem is, if Anthony Gerard Maguire had been charged with ammunition charges in this court, he would not have been allowed back to America. So some deal was done between Anthony Gerald Maguire, his legal team, the PSNI, the Northern Ireland judicial system, the Republic of Ireland judicial system, on Garda Síochána, the American authorities, all these people, and we have the paperwork to prove it, that deal was done, because Maguire was extradited back from America, landed here in Northern Ireland in January 2023. And can you believe it? He left this fucking courthouse, and by July 2023, he was back in America. And all those bodies I have mentioned to you were all part of the extradition cover-up of Anthony Gerald Maguire. Questions must be asked, and these questions must be answered. We're asking you, the public, to raise awareness of what happened in this building, because it seems SDLP and Sinn Féin here in Newry are incapable of asking questions when wrongdoing has been presented in front of them, when the system they propose to hold to account is riding roughshod over our family and our son. We want answers, and we want them now. What happened in this building is a fucking disgrace.
There you have it. Irish public, witnesses 64 and 65, first cousins. No less, two of the vices the Irish state were willing to put forward in a capital murder trial. They reek of corruption, coercion, and collusion. Over 5 years, in dozens of videos, we've named them liars, drug dealers, illegal immigrants, and we will continue to name them as such. And not one person, not their families, not the state, has stepped up to defend them, which only proves that what we've been saying all along. These men were tools in the framing of my brother Aaron Brady, and now silence is their confession.
There are so many troubling layers here in Aaron's case. Morton and Maguire's involvement, but honestly, the silence of the mainstream media and their shady past and their blatant lies is the most disgusting part of all this. As I stand here outside the STLP office, let's not forget how Justin McNulty and the party ignored all that information about these two locals who got out of Newry and Mike village because they are criminals.
They're Sinn Féin, tied to Christopher Morton via Councillor Anton Waters, making them both completely complicit in the framing of my brother Aaron. Both parties knew about these guys' criminal backgrounds and why they were run out of town. Yet they're ignoring us and Aaron. We're reaching out to you, the Irish public, to pile on the pressure, get the media and these parties, SDLP and Sinn Féin, to ask the basic glaring questions that cannot be dodged anymore.